Hello there and welcome to this September Q&A session with Mike, Scott and Mark. Mark's first Q&A session on the channel.
Oh, I'm getting slightly nervous about it.
You're getting a bit nervous. And Becca's behind the camera who's going to ask the questions. There we go. the ghost of Becca there. Ooh. Right, shall we get started?
Okay, so your first question is from David Blythe on Facebook. When did you first get involved with PBE and how long has PBE been running?
Well, I'll start with how long has PBE been running. So Pleasure Beach Experience started in 2009, May the 7th, 2009, as a fan forum for the fans of Pleasure Beach. And it was nothing serious, it was literally the case of the Pleasure Beach guide had got a little bit too serious for itself, where team members were being kicked off it for no actual reason. So I was one of those team members, so I decided, you know what, I'll start my own. And I sat for about 5 hours trying to decide on a name, and I thought, you know what, I'll leave it, I'll just have a wander and go and do something. And I found my DVD or VHS of the Pleasure Beach Experience video, which is all about the Pleasure Beach in the 90s. So I thought, you know what, that is going to be the name. And I thought, we might change it, but we'll go with it. And then from there it just grew a little bit. We got a decent reputation with the Pleasure Beach, because there wasn't a great reputation between the fans and the Pleasure Beach itself. There was always a bit of a, oh, it's season pass holders are a pain in the arse. They moan about everything, and we wanted to change that. We wanted to make a bit of a better relationship. And I think now, compared to how it was 10 years ago, the relationship between the Pleasure Beach and coaster enthusiasts is a million times better. And Pleasure Beach would probably admit that themselves from those who were there 10 years ago. 2012, I decided to message the Pleasure Beach and said, hey, what's the chance of doing an ERT on the big one? They said, yeah, you can do it if you want. When do you want to do it? So we said, let's do it in July 2012. So we organised it, got it all sorted, got everyone together for it. And then a couple of weeks before it started, I was approached by Greg, who was the owner of Club Pleasure Beach at the time, and approached by Pleasure Beach as well. And they said, given that you've managed to successfully sell your event in July, are you interested in taking over the running of Club Pleasure Beach? Of course I was. I was never going to say no to that. I was terrified, but I thought, you know what, we can do this. And that event in July was the first ever event for PBE, and it's just got to where it is from now, with a lot of hard work and a lot of help from everyone that's been involved. Whether those people are still involved now, there's been a lot of help from a lot of people over time. Obviously everyone watching and everyone who has watched in the past come to events, it's all helped us grow. Mike, how long have you been involved then?
Exactly since it started.
Pretty much.
I would have registered within a day or two of it.
Yeah.
So I might even have been there. It's a shame the old forum's not there to check.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I would have registered.
You were one of the first members.
Yeah.
But you really got involved with PBE from 2012 when the events kicked in, didn't you,
Yeah.
really? That was where you and Becca really got involved. I mean, Becca did quite a bit of graphic stuff from the start, but really as far as events go and the actual running of PBE, you and Becca got heavily involved from 2012, I'd say. So Mark, you're fairly recent.
Fairly recent. 2017, mate.
Yeah.
First event was Tato Park.
Yeah.
All went according to plan, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
That event. It was good. Obviously, like, from then, did like a few of the Blackpool ones, and then snowballed from there, innit? So
Yeah.
it was good.
And it's from the start of this year, really, where we've literally gone on every trip together, pretty much,
everyone.
the three of us.
Yeah.
So, Becca, next question, please.
So we've got Jay on Insta. If you could make 3 changes at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, anything at all, what would they be? And there's a second part to this question, but I'll let you answer that one
Should we
first.
do one each?
Yeah.
With there's being 3 of us. Go on. Make it quick.
One change.
One change each.
Anyone got one ready?
Yes.
Go on then.
I think. No, opening hours for me. All day long. I think later opening, later closing. I don't mean longer hours. I don't mean, say, go 10, 12 hours a day. Instead of opening at 10 in the morning, open at dinner time, close at 8, 9 o'clock. And especially in weekdays when people are in school and at work, there's no point, in my opinion, opening at 10 o'clock in the morning when people are in work and school at that time and college. Open at 3 o'clock, let the school kids in Blackpool enjoy the Pleasure Beach, stay up until 10 o'clock. So from 3 o'clock you've got people finishing school and college going in the park, and from 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you've got people who have finished work going, do you know what, I fancy going Icon. Or the big one. Mike?
I know what I'd change.
Go on then.
I would literally change slightly the catering.
Yeah.
Because it's either burgers or pizza.
Yeah.
I'd like throw some like wraps in and stuff like that. That's what a bit more variety in catering.
Yeah.
That's what I would change about it.
Yeah. You just nicked Mike's, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking along those lines.
Yeah.
I'd put more covered catering in.
More covered catering.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we've pretty much got 2 and a bit there.
Yeah.
And the next part of the question.
So the second part of the question is, secondly, Blackpool Pleasure Beach, entertainment-wise, what would you like to see more of at the park?
I'll jump in on this one because when I go to quite a lot of other parks, one of the first things I do on the map is check what shows are on. Portaventura being one of those places where the first thing we've always done is look when the saloon show's on and the parade's on. I'm not expecting Pleasure Beach to do a parade, but in terms of adult shows, there's not many, because obviously there's a lot of Nickelodeon shows, but they used to have Forbidden. I know they got Hot Ice, but that doesn't interest me. They used to have the South Beach show in Planet Rock as well. Those were 2 shows that you could go and watch either in park hours or, as far as Forbidden goes, out of park hours. And I think since Forbidden's gone, I've just not really been interested in the shows at Pleasure Beach, because I know this will get taken the wrong way, but Hot Ice just doesn't interest me. I'm not interested in skating. I don't care about it. I've watched it a couple of times and it is good. It's fantastic. The music's fantastic. The performances are fantastic, but there's not enough show-wise for people who want to take a break from the rides and go and watch something. Whereas we do it so often at Portaventura, well, we'll go and watch the Saloon Show or Music Generation, which is stage shows. It's just something different.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I'm just not interested in Hot Ice. I'll watch the Nickelodeon stuff because I watch it with Becca and Charlie, and I think that's fantastic. I think the Nick team do absolutely fantastic in everything they do. But as far as adult shows go, or family and adult shows, I just don't think there's enough. And I think if you don't like Hot Ice, you're a bit stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, I think we can move on.
Right, okay. Chris Ryan on Facebook asks, if you could re-theme any ride in the world,
Oof.
That's a bit of a wide question. What ride would it be and to what theme?
Go on, Mike.
Go on, Mike.
Go on, Mike. Thanks for this, Chris, by the way.
I spent 2 hours last night thinking about what on earth I would change.
I am the least creative person known to man.
I think for this, Chris, you can lead through Twisted Clowns at Tully's.
Yes. I can hide behind him then.
Yeah. And Stevie's going to hide behind you as well.
She'll have a job. She'll have to jump from side to side all the time. So.
I've got the right.
I've genuinely thought I've got one.
Go for it.
And what I'd change is I'd change Galactica.
Yeah.
And I'd change it into a more of a flight type theme.
Yeah.
And I'd build some, obviously, like rocks or something. You know, like, you know, when what I was thinking is, when you go into the Lake Districts and stuff like that, and you get the low flying in and out, there's something along those kind of lines, and just change it. That's probably what I'd change.
I know it's been done before, but Top Gun.
Top Gun. Yeah.
But that type of thing, that's what I'd change it to.
I think we need more Superman themes. No, I'm joking. That I just wish Park Warner would be a better park, because then I could enjoy the DC stuff more.
Yeah.
But Mike, here's one to aim at you.
Theme on somewhere.
We've just been discussing off camera about Smiler being an awful theme. What would you change the Smilers to?
I'd just change the whole thing. I'd just knock it out.
Oh no!
I just wouldn't have it.
That one.
Well, not here.
No.
I'd rather. Do you know what? I would rather it was a completely. I'd rather it was a car park coaster.
Yeah.
Than the theme it's got. I would have anything. I just. It's one of the reasons I don't go on it very often. Is because if it breaks down, which it does, I can't tolerate being stood in that queue with that soundtrack through my head. I hate walking past it, because I think what I want to hear is the drum and bass off the other side. I want to hear Oblivion. I love Oblivion's theme. It's brilliant. I hate the Smilers theme.
I'm half expecting to say, what I'd do is I'd put a big canopy over it and the black hole.
Yeah, I think you need a really good space themed coaster there.
Oh, you could call us History Experience. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay, so Andy Taylor on Instagram asks, name one ride you miss at Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
Lock Flume.
Oh, I've got to be honest with you, I kind of like Miss Bling. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yes,
really.
I agree with that.
I must say Spin Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. I literally only went on it twice, I think, because it was only there for, what,
Brief
18
period.
It's
months or
very
something,
brief.
wasn't it?
Oh, I tell you what, we had the best ride on Spin
was
Doctor
mint.
ever. I was very skinny back then, and even Mike was a bit skinnier,
Yeah.
but you and Dave sat on one side, and I
Yeah.
sat on my own on the other, and when it balanced, it just
went
went
vertical.
whoosh, like that.
Literally
and I was
went
just
vertical.
sat looking down the pole for the whole time we were sat at the top. I was just like, help, this is terrifying.
No, the other way round, you'd have been looking up.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't
Because it had just
remember.
gone, our side would have dropped. 'Cause
Yeah.
of the weight.
Yeah,
You were
that's it.
looking
We
up
were,
at the
we
bit.
were like,
Either way, it was terrifying.
we were like Oblivion style, look straight down.
I missed Spin Doctor actually,
Yeah,
but
I
I
think it's a good
don't, I don't
ride.
miss the queue it had.
No.
Yeah, I think
I think
Bling's a
that's
good
why I
shout.
only ever went on it twice.
Yeah, Bling's a good shout. I missed that as well. It's a lot better than Skyforce.
Yeah.
And yeah, for me, log flume, I know I'm going over spilt milk here, but 13 years on, I still really miss that ride every time I walk up to Infusion.
I think one from the past I would have loved. I've never rode it, but Virginia Reel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd love
yeah.
to have gone on that.
Yeah.
And the Velvet. Right, let's move on.
Okay, so Tina Jackson asked on Facebook, Mark, which Halloween event are you most looking forward to?
Tully's. Without a shadow of a doubt, I cannot wait to go back to Tully's and just experience all them mazes.
Yeah.
Maze, probably Twisted Clowns.
Oh, I can't wait.
Put a card up there.
Yes,
if you
we
want.
will. We'll put a card and we'll do a bit of an overlay as well. So
Yeah.
while we talk about Twisted Clowns,
Yes.
we'll put a bit of an overlay right now with Mark jumping around like a jack in the box because
Yeah.
that was hilarious.
Yes.
But I think we can move on. I knew you were going to say Tully's as soon as I saw that question.
Tully's, without a doubt. Literally can't wait. It's so good.
2 weeks.
Right, the next one. I apologise if I read out your name completely wrong, because it says something like Amuro
White.
White Demon on
Yeah,
Instagram.
that's right.
Yep.
Something like that.
Anyway, which park in the UK will surprise us in the next few years with an impressive coaster installation?
I'm not allowed to answer this. I think I'll leave that up to you two.
Well, it's an impressive installation, but I don't think it's not a surprise anymore because we know about it. It's Flamingo Land.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's an impressive installation for a park of its size.
yeah.
It's the 10 looping coaster that's coming next year. It's just not a surprise anymore.
I think Park will be Thorpe, and I think they'll get a GCI.
You do.
Genuinely think they'll get a GCI.
That would be fantastic.
And it'll be quite high, be fast, it'll be raucous, and I think they'll pull it out of the bag with it.
Bit like Woden.
Yes.
That would be fantastic. Let's move on.
Okay. Dylan Glendenning on Facebook asks, when do you plan on visiting Energylandia?
April. Next question, please.
That was easy. Okay, so Kermit1888 on Insta asks, how do you juggle your passion for theme parks and day-to-day life?
Oh, I don't.
I was going to say, it just doesn't happen.
No.
It's just one big thing.
It is life.
I do a lot of overtime when I'm not going. Is the answer to that one. That and lots of time spent in the leave planner at work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I can imagine that that's pretty much everything. Because I know what I'm like. I'll just send you a message midway through Monday afternoon. and go,
Yeah.
right, we're going here at this time.
Yeah.
Can you get it off? Yeah, all right then. And then Mark normally replies, booked it, mate. But it's difficult because, as many of you know, me and Becca have got a little one. I go United as well. So it's a lot of juggling, but we manage it. We manage it and I think we do it well. But yeah, I think we can move on.
Yeah.
Right, Mark Garrison on Facebook asks, what's your favourite memory from this season? It
Oh,
won't be opening weekend, will it?
no, it's definitely not opening weekend. Oh, God.
No,
Pissed up on opening weekend was good.
Yeah.
Not
That's
unless
about
you
it.
count going in Velvet Coaster on the Friday
Yeah,
night.
Yeah, that was
That was
fantastic.
ace.
Oh, for me, I know you're going to shake your heads at this, but first ride on Magnum.
For goodness sake.
It's only this season, but it was turning up and it being on ERT instead of Steel Vengeance. I was just like, Yes, here we go. But I'll tell you what was good about that morning, that, we're going to have a relaxed trip to Cedar Point. Me and Mark patrolling the car park at 7 a.m. because we were both too restless.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I think the whole trip to America for me.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Pretty much the whole thing.
Like,
Yeah.
I think the highlight for me is like literally when you cross the causeway and you're driving in and you see everything all lit up and you see all your bucket list coasters like Dragster, Magnum, Steel Vengeance, all the way around, and it's just so impressive.
I drove in at 11:30 at night, and the first thing I seen, which was the coaster I was really looking forward to, was Raptor.
Yeah.
You see the bright green lift hill of Raptor as you're driving.
I'll tell you what was a good memory for me actually, was sitting on the grandstand at Top Thrill Dragster and seeing the reaction of all the first time riders. I enjoyed that because it was good to see who bricked it and who didn't, and I expected you to brick it and you'd come out of the station giving it all this, whereas Stephen, who I didn't expect to brick it, sat there going, oh my god, like that. So
yeah, and obviously you get Stu Blur as well. All you can see if you watch it closely is him tightening the seat.
Professor Media on Instagram asks, if you could design a model of coaster that doesn't exist yet, what would it resemble the most?
An Arrow Hypercoaster. I don't know. That's tough because obviously we don't get paid to come up with these ideas, so it's really difficult.
This is why we don't work in ride design.
Yeah,
we'll be just building Arrow Hypercoasters around the entire
corkscrews.
Yeah.
As an idea, when I play on Planet Coaster, which is quite rare, but when I do play on it, I literally just build. The first thing I always build is an Arrow. I always build an Arrow Hyper and then a Vekoma Looper or an Arrow Looper. So really, it's tough. I mean, there's a couple of manufacturers that are going to be bringing out some new ideas soon, which I'm not going to name names, but once I think IAPA in Orlando happens, I think some of those things will be announced. So it's going to be interesting to see where the industry goes, because you look at it now and you think, well, what can they do different to what they're already doing?
We've had flying, we've had inverted, we've had suspended,
stand up.
That's long
exactly.
gone. We've had technically a lying coaster, which is what the Vekomas are.
Yeah. Do you want to come in shot and say what your idea is?
I'm not coming in shot.
You're not coming in shot?
No, it's crowded enough.
I'll move if you want.
No. Launched spinning coaster. Not that it spins as you launch, but you have the launch first so that it gets up enough speed to properly spin when it releases.
Well, like time travel type of thing.
Yeah, Mac have done one.
Oh, for goodness sake.
I was just thinking that. I'm sure Mac.
I've not been anywhere in the last 2 years. I don't know.
Next question.
Oh, it clearly wasn't done well enough for I'd have known about it. Anyway, John Pagan asks, what are your current #1 bucket list coasters and parks?
I had to think about this one. For me, it's Silver Dollar City and Outlaw Run.
Outlaw Run. Oh, do you know what? This is tough because I've literally done a lot of mine in the last 2 years. But I think, seriously, I'd like to do a lot of the Arrow Loopers. Seriously, because they're not going to be around for much longer. So I'd like to go to Silverwood, which has the original, literally is the original Arrow corkscrew
the one
coaster.
from Knott's Berry?
It is.
Yeah.
It was the one that was bought out of Mac's construction yard. Knott's Berry literally looked at it and said, yeah, we'll have it. It's in Ace's Arrow documentary. But yeah, I'd love to go on that. That's right next to RMC's factory as well, so we might have to tie them in at some point. But yeah, for me, it's get all the Arrows done because they're not going to be around for much longer. Parks are going to get rid of them soon. Obviously, the smaller parks that have got them are going to keep them, but the problem is now they're so old that the smaller parks are no longer going to buy them from the bigger parks that have got them and want rid of them. They're just going to get scrapped. So, probably a couple of coasters in California and just the Arrows.
There's a couple for me, parks-wise. One is Park Asterix, because I still haven't been.
Oh, really?
Well, I was to go 2 years ago, and it got knocked on the head because it wasn't open.
Oh,
I was to go on the.
Yeah,
I think
France is on like some part-time schedule.
In Belgium, I found that out last week. I was on holiday in Belgium last week, and I had time that I could have had to myself, and I literally sat there going, "Where's nearby?"
Yeah.
No, it's shut. Wallaby, but no, it's shut.
This is why we've not done many vlogs in France and Belgium, because every time we've gone, we'll go to Park Asterix and we'll go to Bagatelle and we'll go to Park St Paul, we'll go to Wallaby, Belgium. We've gone, yes, the flights are 30 quid return. Other parts are
All
shut.
parts are shut.
And then you go, oh, the Eurotunnel's cheap, let's go. Other parts are shut.
Yeah.
So that's why we go to Spain.
That's
Other
a Park
places.
Asterix for Osiris.
That is
Osiris. There's two there. There's Osiris and Gougerix.
It's not as bad as people say, I don't think.
There's Osiris and Gougerix there. And the other real one I'd love to go to now is Magic Mountain.
Magic Mountain, Six Flags.
Yeah. Revolution.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the same as
I want to
me.
go on the I want to go on the Revolution.
I can see a PBE group trip happening there soon.
Yeah.
I really can.
The only other one I'd say is like Linnamaki to get on Tigra.
Yeah, that
That does look incredible.
It does. Right, let's go.
So David Alexander asks, most overrated and underrated parks in the UK.
Oh dear. You've got...
Overrated, not really any for me. Underrated, Adventure Island was class the other week when I went. The staff there are literally second to none. They are so like helpful and friendly and just improve your day. It's literally, I'd probably recommend anyone going. It's absolutely superb.
I've noticed as well, I've never been myself, but I've noticed that they're very flexible on opening hours.
Yeah, it happened this time. It's like, I went on a Sunday, it was a 4 p.m. close, and because it was nice and sunny and quite busy, they went, you know what, 8 o'clock, done.
Ah, if only. We won't go there. Overrated. Still think Alton Towers is a little bit overrated. Yes, it's a fantastic park. It's got some great rides, but some of the rides are excessively overhyped. The Smiler is extremely overhyped in my opinion. I don't see the attraction. Every time I go on it, I feel like I've been in the boxing ring with Anthony Joshua. Just don't like flying coasters, so I don't like air. But I do like towers a lot more than I used to. I like the Wicker Man quite a lot. One of the best UK coasters for me. And Nemesis is excellent still. But I think it's an overrated park in general because I think it gets so much hype and sometimes it's not justified, but it is excellent. Underrated, oh jeez, I don't actually know. There's a lot of parks that... Pleasure Beach could sometimes fall into this category because they get a lot of criticism for things that they don't actually do wrong, but it's Pleasure Beach's maintenance is bad, Pleasure Beach's rides are old, Pleasure Beach is rubbish. And I think it does get underrated sometimes by people who perhaps don't go very often or don't go at all because they go to towers. But that's probably more of a GP thing than enthusiasts. I think the general public will always pick towers over anywhere else.
That's where Towers is overhyped.
Yeah.
Because they so hype the place up so badly.
Yeah, but that's good marketing though.
Yeah.
It's more that they've got this high opinion of the place that I don't think that to the point of like some of the really top parks in America.
See, I don't have an issue with towers saying
I like
that
the place.
I don't have an issue with towers saying that they're the best park ever because that's good marketing. Every park should be saying, "Come to us, we are better than them." But I think it's just a general perception of towers outside of towers.
Yeah.
That is where
It's when you hear people banging on about how amazing the place is. It's like, well, one, I don't think it's as good as it used to be. Still think it's a good park. I just don't think it's as good as it was 20 years ago.
I never went 20 years ago, so I
Yeah,
can't
it's
say.
the old days. Yeah, there's History Corner back again. Underrated, I think Oakwood personally. Now that's probably quite divisive because it seems to be very hit and miss. But I've been there 3 times and enjoyed it 3 times. So
Fair enough. I think we can move on.
Okay, so we've got David Simpson asking, why has Pleasure Beach taken so long to do a Halloween event?
Money.
Yeah, money.
Money, resources, didn't see the need to do one. They've obviously seen what's going on in the world, especially in this country. There's 2 very popular scare events not far from Pleasure Beach in Scare Kingdom and Farmageddon. I think Pleasure Beach have seen that when Vampire Beach is on, there's other events on elsewhere and maybe not as many people were going to Vampire Beach as perhaps could have done. Or the feedback from Vampire Beach was, this is supposed to be a Halloween event and there isn't much going on in the way of Halloween stuff beyond pumpkins, a giant werewolf and some fireworks. I think they've looked at it and gone, we need to do a proper event. And I've not experienced it for myself. Mark's been the closest of any of us to seeing it and has said in the recent Pleasure Beach vlog that we should all do Freak Nights, and we will be doing it. We'll definitely be doing it. But something that needs said here, we have all said Pleasure Beach needs to do a Halloween event for years. Let's now support it, because if we don't, it will never happen again. This is our one chance to make it a success. We have got to go. Any Pleasure Beach fan that likes Halloween events has got to go, because for all the time that we've been saying they need to do one, now they're doing one. Anyone that's ever wanted one has got to go and support it. We've got to make sure that every night is a sellout.
It's got to be worth their money to do it.
Yeah, because otherwise it just won't happen again.
It won't. They have already thought about like planning to do like more than one. From the feedback of it, it's like we've got plans to do it again and again and again.
Yeah.
But for them to do that, this first one's got to go really, really well, and then they can implement those plans going forward.
As an example, when the midnight closes were on, the first one was a mega success, so they did a second one. The second one wasn't a success, so we didn't see one again. We've got to support it. If we want it to happen every year, we have got to support it. Anyway, let's move on.
So we've got Karen Allenson asking, if you could choose any ride in the world to have at the Pleasure Beach, what would it be? Space, cost, everything else not an issue.
Go on.
Can we just move Steel Bendits over, please?
Go on, Mike. He's having a good think about it. I'm not going to say Magnum, because we've got an Arrow Hyper anyway. We have an Arrow Hyper.
The Hulk! The Hulk!
Yeah, Becca says the Hulk. Off camera, the Hulk. Yes, I've got an idea. Coomba.
Yes.
There's mine.
Yes,
Coomba.
please.
Raptor.
Raptor. There we go then.
Easy. So Andrew Nicholson asks, looking to season 2021 and considering the major UK parks, which coasters do you expect to be built and at which parks? And do you expect any parks to build something in 2021? Let's add that in as well.
Yes. Maybe.
Yes. Yes, with a big caveat.
Definitely maybe.
I see the GCI happening at Fort.
You do.
In 2021, because they'll be able to start marketing it from middle of 2020. Pleasure Beach.
Really?
I'm going to go with a nice little family gravity group.
Oh, alright. Instead of...
Just in Nick Landing.
Oh no, Becca's giving us daggers. There's some head shaking going on off camera.
They've got plenty more space to use before they touch roller.
You said it, not us.
I'd love Pleasure Beach to get a gravity group coaster, but my honest opinion, I don't think much will happen for 2021. Don't think Towers will get anything. Don't think Pleasure Beach might do something for Nickelodeon Land, but nah, I'm going for Fort 2022. But I don't know anything. That's just a guess. I literally don't know anything that Thorpe are doing. I'm going to guess that it'll be 10 years after the Swarm, though. That's my opinion. Mike's very quiet on this subject. He's
Not
thinking.
really got any opinion on it at
No.
all. I don't foresee anything really.
No.
Because most of the main parks have done something very recently.
Except
That's
for
the
Thorpe,
only
except
one
for
that's
Thorpe, yeah.
due a due an investment.
Yeah.
I think. But other than that,
Yeah, I genuinely don't think anything will happen until 2022, and then I think we might have a bit of a interesting couple of years after it, but just have to see.
So this is your question to Mike and Mark.
Oh, right, okay. So, if you guys could work on one roller coaster for one day only, what would it be, starting with Mike?
past or present.
Present, because it has to be like as if you're going to do it tomorrow. I know that you'd say past.
Big one.
Big one. What, so you could go do 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 do. Ladies and gentlemen, keep your arms down due to high winds.
No, so I could sit and press that button all day to the siren.
No, we just keep pressing it all day. Yeah. What was your past one?
I'd be corkscrew.
I thought you were going to say that. That'd be dead easy to operate. I actually didn't work on it when I worked at Towers, but I did do some training in that area, and it was easy. It was literally pull the harnesses down, press the button, it goes. Oh, thumbs up as well.
Thumbs up. Send it.
Where'd you send it, Top?
I know. What is it? Got another one as well, but in all honesty, I'd love to work on Dragster.
Yeah.
Literally, I'd love to be able to go,
Yeah.
and even like just chatting.
Yeah.
On the mic, I'd be like,
Yeah.
literally that. Well, a shadow of a doubt. Get me on that.
Yeah.
Get me on the thing that they do.
What, the year programme?
Yes, I'll just go on that.
We're going to send him over for a year so he can go and work. Yeah, but you'll end up getting Rougarou.
You'd be gutted if you brought up one day and I'm there on Magnum going,
Send it. Yeah, giving it the help. We're going to take you 205 foot in the sky, the same height as Steel Vengeance, but without the 8-hour queue. That was fantastic when they said that on Coaster Mania. But yeah, for me, I'd love to work on the big one. I've said that for years, but I just love to work on it when it was really windy and just have the, what wind speed has it got, watching out the little window and just, no, I think that'd be ace, but it would be cool. So if anyone from Pleasure Beach is watching, if we could have a day of work experience on the big one, that'd be most appreciated. Thank you very much. And yeah, that's the end of this Q&A session. I'm sure we'll do another one at some point, probably out of season. So
Christmas special.
Christmas special. We might even do a Mike Monday Christmas special, but we'll have to think about that one. But if you'd like us to do that, let us know in the comments. Give us some ideas for a Mike Monday Christmas special. We'll dress him up as Santa and we'll think of some ideas for it. But for now, thanks for watching. And if you do have any other questions that you'd like us to just answer in the comments, let us know. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next Pleasure Beach Experience video.